So I'm Geoff Bagg, and I used to attend C4. Wish I still did, but we've moved away. And I'm also president of the Bagg Group and also own some other companies. I'm, I guess, the son of two entrepreneurs. Both of my parents were in the business. And when they ran the business, actually, I remember in the early 80s, we pretty much just about lost everything. And the market crashed then, and people weren't hiring. And we almost went out of business. And around that time, we met a man, Tom Copeland, who's a Christian accountant, who showed us Christian principles for administering our money. And within a decade, my parents were 100% debt-free. And that really allowed us to do different things with our money that I think were in line with God's kingdom. When I was 14 years old, I went to a place called Muskoka Woods because it was one of two water ski camps in Ontario. And it was Christian, so I didn't really want to go, but ended up going there and got more than water skiing, ended up meeting the Lord there, and it definitely changed my life. So I don't really feel that I'm a generous person. I feel that I'm a regular person that does some generous things. So years ago, I was part of a Bible study group, and we were doing the material Knowing God by Henry Blackaby. And one of the things that it really taught me was to look for where God is working and to be involved with that. And so it's really easy for me to look, and if I can see God working, then I want to be a part of that. So with C4 and even going back in 905, I've known Josh and the McCabe family for years. I've been friends with Dan for over 30 years. And it's a great ministry and something that I've always felt I've wanted to be involved with. And so another company that I own called Late Gig Productions has done a lot as far as sound, lights, video, everything that can really help move that whole event forward. And that's something where it's just easy to help out in a ministry like that. It's a fantastic ministry. Well, I think probably the best place where I've learned about it, besides the examples of others, is even just through biblical teaching and the idea that the earth is the Lord's and all that's in it has been a verse that's always stuck with me. And so that's why it's hard for me to consider myself really generous, because it's not really my possessions. If I don't believe that it's mine, then it's a lot easier to give it away and a lot easier to focus on what is God's kingdom purpose for it. So a lot of people would ask, why give? And I think maybe it's important to ask, why wouldn't you give? And what does that reveal about you and your priorities and your heart? And a lot of times, what you're willing to give or what you're willing to sacrifice is a good indicator of what's going on in your heart and your life. A lot of people think about giving as giving money, but money is just one part of it. And there's been times in my life where I've had a lot of money to give, and there's times where I haven't. But there's other things that you can give, whether it's your time, resources, help. I can think of people that I've helped along the way, and it hasn't cost me anything, but you still take the time to do it because you believe it's the right thing to do. If you want to give, start giving first and then let other things in your life follow that, but start by actually giving first. You know, it's funny, as a CEO, I'm expected to make wise investments of our assets. And I think God has the same expectations. So I think that He wants us to make wise investments of what He's entrusted us with for kingdom purposes. There's a lot of times where, you know, I have a choice between relying on myself or relying on God. Do I buy a new company debt-based, or do I trust God to do it? And to be honest, I know that if I was more obedient and did more things according to His principles, I could actually be more generous. I think a lot of people think generosity is about money, but we all have things that we've got in our lives. And generosity is more about giving more than we can.